We've started back to school and evenings can be hectic, but don't let dinner stress you out. Today we've got an easy 30-minute meal and a dish you can throw into the freezer for later. Hey everyone, and thank you again for joining me here at the table. Today we are going to be working on some quick, easy meals and some freezer meal options. So last episode we talked about, lunches for children, healthy breakfast options, but we all know whenever we're in school it gets very hectic between homework, maybe ball practice, whatever. Sometimes you just need a quick meal to throw together. So let's get started. First, we're going to make a beefy skillet meal. So this is kind of like your hamburger helper, just without all the extra ingredients that we don't want. So we're going to start by browning a pound of lean ground beef in our pan. Let me turn it on here to about medium high. This is a good place where you could make a wholesome change. Here you could use ground turkey or even ground chicken instead of the ground beef. So I'm just breaking it up here so it can brown a little easier. There are all sorts of ways that you can add in more wholesome ingredients to make it just a little healthier. I remember growing up, hamburger helper was a staple in my house, especially during the school year. All right, and then once this gets cooking, we will then add in, we'll brown it, I'm skipping ahead on you guys. We're gonna brown it, drain off any excess fat that there may be, but the good thing with lean meat is there's usually not a lot of fat. In this, you are adding pasta. And this is also one of those meals you could sneak in some extra veggies if your kids are not fans of veggies. So you could add in bell pepper, you could add in maybe some really finely shredded spinach in there, because spinach, it just wilts down and you can't see it anymore. So hopefully my burner wants to work. Let me double check this. Yeah, we're good. We're good. It's just taking it a minute to warm up. All right. There's all sorts of one-pan meals that are excellent to just, throw in the pan. You're done in 30 minutes. And then you can get back to homework and getting kids to bed, getting them ready for the next school day. You could, let's see, I'm trying to think, you could easily add maybe beef tips to this. That would be a different spin on it. You could take out the noodles and replace it with rice. You can throw in some broccoli in there, all sorts of things. And I mentioned last time in our last episode, it's really good to have your kids involved with you whenever you're shopping, because they're more apt to eat if they have some sort of choice in what they're eating. But it's also good to involve them in the kitchen. There's all sorts of things that kids can do in the kitchen from, toddler age on up. Start with very simple ingredients. They can help you pour in liquids, or they can help you measure out things. It's always good to have your kids involved. They're learning life skills that are necessary. I can remember early age, I was always in the kitchen with my grandmother. I would watch her make biscuits. I'd lick the spoon whenever she'd make a cake. And I owe my culinary skills to her for sure. All right, this is browning up slowly. And now this recipe, it does call for water, but you could absolutely, since this is beef, you could use beef broth instead of water to impart more flavor. If you're doing like chicken or turkey, you could always do chicken broth or even veggie broth. Both are great options just to add just a little more flavor to the dish. I'll turn this heat up just a little bit. We need to get this going. All right. Well, I'm going to finish browning up this meat here, and then whenever we come back, I'll put everything together, show you guys how to do that, and we'll have us a quick, easy meal. See you guys in a few.
Welcome to Cork and Brew Roseboro, where you can enjoy your favorite coffee, fraps, smoothies, bakery items, sandwiches, and select beer and wines while reconnecting with friends and family. Sit down and enjoy the experience. Come on by and give us a try.
The average American household has 17 devices connected to the internet. With more and more devices able to get online, you may need to increase your internet speed. Call Star Communications today and let us help you select the package that's right for you.
Computer viruses, malware, and ransomware are out there. They're dangerous, and they can steal your identity and damage your equipment. Star Communications is now offering Protect IQ. This service adds an extra layer of protection to every device connected to your network, working quietly in the background. Star can help you protect yourself from the inside out with Protect IQ. Call Star today and take advantage of this free service when you sign up for whole home Wi-Fi with Star Communications.
All right, welcome back. The hamburger meat is now browned, and I have drained the fat. So now we get to add in all of our spices and other ingredients. So we're gonna add in some black pepper, and you can do the pepper to taste. That's absolutely fine. We're gonna do a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then we're gonna do minced onions. I need a tablespoon. I've got about a tablespoon left, so I'm just gonna throw those in there. We need about a tablespoon of onion powder. And this is very oniony. All right, and then we need a tablespoon of cornstarch, and the cornstarch is just going to help thicken up the sauce whenever we go to make that. So throw this in here. Now before we add in our water and onions, I want to give this a good stir. Kind of help heat those spices up, help them bloom a little bit. All right. So now we can add in our water. This is 1.5 cups of water. We can add in onions. This is about 1/3 cup of chopped onions. I am going to add in some green pepper. So I did equal parts to the onion. So again, another 1/3 cup of green pepper. Let me give this a good stir really quick. Mix it all together. All right. So now we will add in our tomato sauce. This is one of those areas where you can make a more wholesome choice. To reduce the amount of sodium that we're putting in here, you can choose a tomato sauce that is no salt added or reduced sodium. And this is just a small 8-ounce can. And then we also add in a 8-ounce can of corn that's been drained. There we go. Let's give this a good stir. So yes, this again, like I said, this is one of these easy meals that you can throw in extra veggies and your kid doesn't know it, or maybe won't know it. Or they'll be more apt to eat it because it's covered up with other stuff. All right. So we've done that. And then now we add in our pasta. We're just going to add in about 3/4 of a cup of uncooked pasta because the juices, the liquids here, are going to cook our pasta. And you can choose any shape. I just happen to like the rotini, the little squigglies, as my niece calls them. Looks like about 3/4 of a cup. Stir it all together. Make sure those noodles are coated here. And then we are going to bring this to a boil. So turn that burner wide open, bring it to a boil. And once it comes to a boil, we are going to cover it with a lid and it will cook for about 10 minutes. So talking about, you know, growing up, we ate Hamburger Helper like it was, you know, going out of style. But my mom decided she wanted to change it up one day and do the tuna helper. Didn't go over so well. It was not good. Not good. Now, some people may like it. I don't, you know, judge them for that. But it was not for us in our household. And then once this cooks and everything, you can top it with cheese. You can also make a wholesome change there. You can do a reduced fat cheese instead of the full fat. You could even, we're going to use cheddar today, but you can use Monterey Jack. You can use mozzarella, whatever cheese you want to use. This is your dish. All right, it's starting to come up to a boil. Let me grab my lid real quick. Throw it on top and then set my timer for 10 minutes. So this is gonna cook, and whenever we come back, you'll see the finished product. See you guys in a few.
Great communities attract talented people to live, work, and raise their families. We're committed to delivering future-proof broadband so our friends, families, and neighbors can live rich lives in smart rural communities across America. Your community is our community. We're your rural broadband partners. You do great things. We make great things possible.
Providing fewer commutes, more backyard offices, and crystal clear meetings. Providing less, you froze up, and more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
Welcome back, guys. The skillet meal is just about done. The noodles have softened, the moisture has evaporated, or liquid has evaporated. And then now, always of course, taste your dish because we want to season along the way. I'm just gonna add just a little bit of salt to this. And then give it a really good stir. I also wanna mention that as it's cooking, periodically stir it. You don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pan. And if you find you need a little more liquid, that's absolutely fine. You can add just a little bit of water at a time. I would say maybe 1/4 of a cup at a time. All right. So this is mixed well. All right. So now, once it's done, I'm going to turn my burner off. And you can spoon this into your bowl, plate. You could absolutely do like a side salad with this. That would be really good. Throw in some extra veggies. All right. Okay. And then you top it with your cheese. Just like that. And there you have it, your easy beefy skillet meal. Should take you about 30 minutes, no more than that. And it's packed full of veggies, lots of nutrients. So there you go. All right, we have completed this meal. So now we're going to move on to our freezer meal. So what is a freezer meal? Basically, it's just a meal that you put together, and you can put it either in a reusable pan or a disposable aluminum pan, and you freeze it for whenever you need a meal later down the road and maybe you just don't feel like cooking. Okay? You can do this with all sorts of different recipes. You can do chicken enchiladas, you can do lasagna, you can do stuffed pasta shells, and today we are going to make a chicken and broccoli casserole. So, let me get sorted out here. I do want to say that I've already pre-cooked the rice because, you know, rice takes a little bit. And that brings me to the idea of batch cooking. So batch cooking is just preparing like your staple items. So like your chicken, your beef, your rice, beans. You can cook up a big batch and then use it throughout the week instead of having to cook rice every single time you plan to use it, or beans, or your chicken. You can cut up your chicken, you can shred it, you can leave it whole, however you're going to use it. But that also cooks down on your cooking time. A few tips with rice though. It may seem a little odd, but rinse your rice. Get rid of any of those extra starches that are lingering there, any maybe debris, because let's face it, rice is a grain and there could be a little bit of dirt in there. And then toast your rice before you put it into water. So all you do in your little pan is add a tablespoon of olive oil, or you could use butter, and then make sure you turn your burner on about medium high, melt the butter, get the oil hot, and then throw your dry rice into the pot. And then you're just going to stir it around and toast it. You should smell like this nutty scent coming from the rice. And once you smell that, then you can add in your water and cook as usual. The toasting just kind of adds a little more flavor to the rice. All right. So let me grab my chicken and my pan and I'll be right back. This is also a casserole that you don't have to freeze whatsoever. You can pick up a rotisserie chicken from your local grocery store, and that's one less thing you have to cook. The chicken's already cooked for you. So we're going to use about 3 cups of chicken here. You can dice it up, or you can just use your fingers and kind of pull it apart, break it up into chunks. And so we're going to throw it here into the pan. Although I like good meaty mouthfuls of chicken. All right. So I'm going to work on getting this chicken kind of broken up and into the pan, and then we'll add our rest of the ingredients whenever we come back. See you shortly.
Eastern North Carolina is a beautiful place where we gladly choose to call home, and we strive to provide the best communications services. STAR is committed to improving communications to all our service areas because we want to improve the communities where we not only work, but also live. STAR Communications. We are neighbors serving neighbors.
All right, welcome back. So while we were away, I went ahead and mixed the rice with the chicken. I mentioned earlier that I used rice for this. You could definitely use pasta if you wanted to. And now I'm making the cheese sauce that is going to go over the rice and the chicken. This cheese sauce is just 2 cups of chicken broth, 1.5 cups of milk, and you could definitely use 2% low-fat milk. And then we heat that over medium heat until it starts to bubble. And then once it starts to bubble and gets a little thicker, you're going to add in garlic powder, onion powder, and dry mustard. Once you've whisked all of that together, you're going to add in 4 ounces of cream cheese. This is going to help make the cheese sauce really, really creamy. And now that all of that, the cream cheese has melted and this is bubbling and it's thick, we're going to add in 2 cups of cheddar cheese. And I might have misjudged the size or the amount of sauce this was going to make because I think my pot's just a little too small. But it's okay, we're going to make it work. So, and then you also add in 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. So we're going to stir this or whisk it until it is smooth and the cheese has melted. Again, you could absolutely use reduced fat cheese here to make it just slightly healthier. Ooh. And word of warning, do not step away from this pot when you are bringing this milk mixture to a boil, because before you know it, it will bubble up and go all over your stove. Not that I know anything about that. All right, you can see that this is getting melty and it's changing colors. It's a nice light pale orange. It's gonna be so good. All right, so I think all of my cheese has melted. I'm just going to turn my heat off and give this another couple of stirs with the whisk. All right, that looks great. So now you take your cheese sauce and you're going to pour it over the chicken and rice mixture or pasta if you decide to go that route. Alrighty, there we go. If I wasn't on TV, I'd totally probably lick that pot because that just looks so good, so good. All right, so now you just kind of want to stir it around so you can get that cheese sauce all the way down to the bottom and it coats all of the rice, the chicken. Looks so good, so yummy. I think my coworkers are going to thank me for this one. All right. So once you get all of this stirred together, all of the cheese coating your rice and chicken, you're going to add the broccoli on top. Now this, you can either get fresh broccoli and steam it yourself, or you can go the easy route and just get one of the 10-ounce steamable bags of broccoli. And then just kind of pop that in the microwave while you're doing the rest of this. That'll give it time to cook and then to also cool down, because these bags are like super hot whenever you pull them out. All right, so there's that. Here's my broccoli. There we go. All right, and then you're just gonna kind of sprinkle it all across the top. Just like that. Now you may have to kind of like spread things out, because you know it doesn't exactly fall the way you want it to. But there you go. And so if you are going to prepare this right after you make it, you're just going to put it into a 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes. You can also put it in the fridge for up to 3 days. Just cover it in saran wrap and aluminum foil. Or if you want to freeze this, again, cover it in the saran wrap and the aluminum foil and put it in the freezer for up to 1 month. You have a quick, easy meal when you're in a rush. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here. We'll see you next time.